My name is JB Rose and I'm from Life in Colour Listing Guides, and we're in association with YouNow TV, and we're at the wonderful Stratford East at the Caribbean Scene. And we have the pleasure of interviewing the most talented artist around at the moment, a young lady called Yolanda Brown. Yolanda.
Hi, how are you?
How's it all going?
Really good, really good. Exciting times now.
Please tell us about those times.
Well, for the past sort of 9 months, I've been writing and recording my album entitled April Showers, May Flowers. And now it's finally done, mixed, mastered and manufactured, ready to go to the shops next week.
Wonderful. And I hear there's a launch?
There is, so we're launching the album with a nationwide tour, but to kick that off we've got 2 dates at the HMV Hammersmith Apollo on the 14th and 17th of February, and I'll be accompanied by the Royal Philharmonic Concert Orchestra, which is fantastic. I have sort of orchestration on my records, so to hear it performed live with this magnificent orchestra is going to be amazing. And also special guests, including Omar, Misha Paris, Ian Shaw, Jackie Danckworth and Micah Remu, so really exciting times and a good way to kick off the project.
Wonderful. Now you've been going for a very long time. Oh, not so long, but you've been going for a while.
Yes.
But you've been really building up your fan base.
Sure.
And I think I mentioned to you earlier that I've been hearing about you from all kinds of people, ages, everything, for so long. Tell us a little bit about, if someone came along to a Yolanda show, what would they experience?
Of course. Well, for me, I believe I'm a live artist, really. I'm self-taught on the saxophone, and it really comes from emotion and just feeling the vibe in the audience, if we can put it like that. And so when you come to a concert, we'll take you on a musical journey. Of course, with the saxophone being based in jazz, we will be talking, but we'll be playing sort of jazz, reggae, soul, R&B, gospel, a little bit of classical as well, which is on my new album. And so really it's a musical journey. People feel like they've been on the plane through all the airports going to, Afro jazz in Nigeria through to reggae in Jamaica. It really is a wonderful time full of genres and music for everybody, really.
Wonderful. So what led you to becoming a saxophonist? You didn't start off that way, did you?
No, I played the piano, the violin and the drums from a very early age, and it's great that we have sort of music services that offer up these instruments to us as young children in school and whatever. But I felt that all of these instruments I was playing on the drums, playing on the piano, and it wasn't very easy to carry a drum kit around. If you ever wanted just to have a play. And I was then introduced to the saxophone at 13, which to some people is quite late, but for me it was the perfect time. And it really straight away struck me as a very soulful instrument. It felt like a voice for me. And when I played it, it let me put my emotions forward. If I was happy, if I was sad, I would play to myself in my room. And it was a very therapeutic instrument. It still is. So almost being able to do this as a living and perform live around the world is it's wonderful, really good.
Well, I hear you didn't even train as a musician. You've got PhD, but not at all in music. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I studied at the University of Kent. I did an undergraduate master's in management science, did another master's in methods of social research, and went on to my PhD in management science. And yeah, music for me was always quite a personal thing. I used to play for myself, as I say, and just like to make music and make sounds for myself. I never really thought about sharing it. But then I joined a band, they were called Black Grape, and the band fell away and the management said, I could manage you as a solo artist. Didn't know what that meant. I was a student at the time and thinking, well, if it makes me a bit of extra change, I'm all for it. And then 3 years later, I was winning awards and doing my own concerts, and it came to a point about 2 years ago where I had to make a decision. Do I carry on with my PhD, because I was doing both at the same time? So I remember an occasion I was in Russia and playing in Russia and emailing my dissertation off at the same time on Wi-Fi and then going on stage, and I thought, this is the point where you have to choose, really. And I thought about it for a good couple of months and went to my supervisor, whose name's John, and so the first track on the album, Dear John, is sort of dedicated to him. And said to him, look, the music is really picking up. I'd really like to pursue with that and come back to the PhD. I can come back to that at any point. And he said, no, definitely, I really understand that. Make sure you go and do it well and come back. And then actually, luckily, a few months later, I got an email from the University of East London honouring me with a doctorate for my contribution to music. So that kind of let me know I'd made the right decision, but I will go back to my PhD at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you said that you're self-taught saxophonist, and I know that especially in the jazz world, they're quite highbrow.
Yes.
So how do you fit in amongst the kind of people who are kind of been doing that for years and years and stuff?
I think the main thing, for me and for any musician really going into the industry is to be yourself. I can only do me, and the saxophone found me. I started making music, and it's music that people have asked me to create and they want to enjoy, so I can only stay true to that. I know there's amazing technical musicians, and they even lend me a hand and give me some tips and pointers, which is fantastic. But the main thing about music, if you think about sort of the origins of jazz and rhythm and blues, was the emotion really, and so once you've got that, you can then build and build on that. So no, people have welcomed me with open arms and given me pointers along the way if I've got bad driving habits, so to speak, and it's been really, really good, a really nice journey.
It's very inspirational, especially for young people. So what would you say was, if you had any challenges along the way, which doesn't sound like it, what would they be, and what has kept you going through?
Yeah, I guess if hard times come, which they always do, and that's really, my album, April Showers, May Flowers, is kind of about that. April Showers is the hard times, any challenges that may come. But if you continue to believe in what you're doing and believe you can get there, then you'll bring out the May Flowers, so to speak, and the May Flowers will come. So I don't really see challenges as it was a challenge. I just see it as something that I need to get across. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I get asked these questions all the time. You're a woman and you're a female playing a saxophone. Do you feel anything in the industry? And I honestly don't. Maybe I've got blinkers on. Maybe I just don't see it.
And maybe that's the right attitude anyway, just to kind of go for it.
I enjoy what I do, and I can do as much as I can.
Tell us about some of your original music that's on the album.
Yeah, well, my album is all originals, so it's all my own music, and really basing it on that concept, April Showers, May Flowers. And you'll feel, obviously there's lots of different genres, as I've said, and you'll feel hopefully the emotion that goes into the music and the stories as well. And I experimented a little bit with vocal as well, because I was writing these melodies and writing these ideas, and I do think of lyrics as I'm playing. If I'm improvising, I'm thinking of lyrics, and I was left with all of these words. So we thought, put them onto track and see what we can do. And I think that's something that I love to do more live, is that you can tell a story, you can say what the song is going to be about before you express it, and people can latch onto that and see the picture that they want to make. And I think that's the wonderful thing about music.
Okay. So is any of the artists that you mentioned, Omar, Misha, do they appear on your album at all, or is it?
No, they're going to be just celebrating with me for these nights, and playing some wonderful jazz covers as well that have been some of my favourites. As I do concerts, obviously when I first started as well, played covers of current day songs, and I still like to bring that into my repertoire, because it's nice for some people to experience music that they know interpreted in a different way or interpreted by me. So I think it's important always to bring those covers back in.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Yolanda. It's really good to talk with you. So my name is JB Rose, from Life in Colour, Listings publication. It's distributed all over London in association with YouNow TV. We've been speaking to the wonderful Yolanda Brown. Please go and buy our album, April Showers, May Flowers. Thank you.